Alright, so we've reached the final stage in reloading. Well, stages. I'm going to use a Lee progressive press. This is the Loadmaster. So it's got powder dump incorporated into a, what is this, 5-step process. First stage is the loading into the first stage. Case is going to pop into this stage right here and go up into this die. This is a decapping. This is a Lee universal decapping die that I have removed the decapper from. All this stuff is decapped already. It's had the military crimp taken out because this is military crimp Winchester brass. It's been resized, trimmed to length, and chamfered for the next round. So there's a little edge there that's going to accept the bullet a little bit better, a little bit smoother. This is a little bit rough too, but I'm doing bulk loading. This is nice brass. I'm using good powder. I'm using good components. I'm not overly concerned. This is not match ammo. I am not shooting at an NRA shoot. This stuff will shoot MOA with the components that I'm using. So, good enough for me. Shake this bucket around a little bit. One nice thing that you learn about a good bucket is that all the rounds are facing up, and I can just drop them in most of the time and give them a little wiggle. You know, a little simple life hack there is, you know, the internet tells you. Here, so I'm going to fill these tubes up, and I'm going to show you what it's like reloading on a Lee progressive. All right, all those are full. Usually you can just throw a handful of rounds in there and just give her a little wiggle, and they'll stand up and drop down appropriately. That's pretty cool. Whatever. Call that technology. Call it what you want. Okay. So I've got a few primers in here. I should probably refill that soon, but I'm just gonna do a little bit of an explanation of how this works. So I'm gonna pull the handle there. Put the first round in. You see that first round? All right. This is the priming stage. So that stage is gonna push a primer in there. Gonna go ahead and pop that out and show you. There's a primer seated with that first stage here. So this stage, you see the primers in there. A little brass glowing back there in those slots. So primer's feeding down. Confirmed there is a primer in there, so that's working properly. I'm gonna go ahead and close that station. This one's gonna get powder next. So when I pull the handle, the powder dump is gonna put a load of powder in there. It's gonna go into the next stage. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see that very well. Yeah, you can see the powder in there. I've got a little light pointed down from the roof here. You can see my fingers kind of glowing right now, just so I can make sure that the powder level's about right. I'm gonna put a bullet in there now, and I'm gonna seat it. Next, this one looks pretty good. I should tilt it a little bit. There we go. See the powder level's about the same. I'm just gonna, I know that the primers are going in. I know the powder dump looks pretty good. I'm just gonna keep going here. Check for powder. Powder's there. Good to go. Alright. Last stage is the crimp, and all that does is put a little crimp on the case mounts. You can barely see it. I've got like a light crimp setup. Sometimes it crimps harder on different brass that might be, you know, slightly different spec from the rest of the brass. You know what I mean? Those measurements are really, really tight. I just like to put a little super light crimp on there. It's not really necessary. Oh, here's one that's a good example. This one did crimp a little bit. You see that little line there? So, relatively simple stuff. I'm going to keep going. I'm checking for powder every time. These are going good. Oh, check for powder. Powder's good. Oh. Yeah. So that's pretty much how you load a bullet once you get all the brass stuff and squared away. Got your components like your powder, your cases ready. Pick a primer, you know, do your load development and stuff. It's pretty, and there's a lot of load data out there, you know. So that's pretty much what it looks like.